Aloha, I'm Peter Berg, director of Battleship. I'm here in Pearl Harbor on the Hawaiian island of Oahu on the USS Missouri. Missouri is not just the hero of our movie. She's an American icon and an integral piece of military history. We were so lucky to be able to film scenes from our movie on board this battleship, a ship whose decks have been walked on by presidents, prime ministers, admirals, diplomats, and generals, along with the thousands of sailors and Marines who served on her crew. Joining me is Mike Carr, President and COO of the USS Missouri Memorial Association.
On behalf of everyone at the USS Missouri Memorial Association, we're happy to share some of the amazing stories of our battleship. Meet and hear from some of the brave men who lived and served here, and take you on an exclusive tour of the Mighty Mo, walking places within the ship that most people never get to see. Guiding you on this VIP tour with Peter Berg is one of our senior tour guides, Reggie Johnson.
The Mighty Mo protected the United States gloriously in 3 wars over a span of 5 decades: World War II, the Korean War, and Desert Storm. She is one of the largest naval vessels afloat and a real testament to the brilliance and sophistication of human technological achievement. Built as a heavily armed vessel designed specifically to destroy other ships with maximum firepower, Missouri's real heart and soul was the proud and brave crew that served aboard her.
You guys ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. Come on, guys.
USS Missouri, also known as the Mighty Mo, last battleship built by the United States. Construction started January 6, 1941 in the Brooklyn, New York Navy Yard. 3 years later, the ship was completed. It's a $100 million ship. It's 887 feet 3 inches long by 108 feet 2 inches wide, and it's also 209 feet 8 inches high. Unloaded, it weighs 45,000 tons, and we had a crew of 2,700 in the 40s and the 50s. And then when we put fuel, ammo, supplies, groceries, and personal belongings, then we take it to 58,000 tons. The design of the ship, the bow is up higher so it allows runoff of water. We also have wooden decks. We have wood on top of steel, because all ships built before air conditioning had to have wooden decks to be insulation from the sun. We've covered the ship's decks with 53,000 square feet of teak wood, very hard, resistant to rot, and we are bringing ammo on board. Dropping ammo on steel is not good. This allows us to not have sparks, which leads to explosions. Joining us on the bow, former crew member, 50 to 52, Brooks Allen.
Brooks, how are you, sir?
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. So many people have asked me about the 16-inch guns and what it must be like to experience them firing. Can you tell us any stories or any experiences you've had actually having seen the guns fire?
I'll never forget what happened to me. My battle station was on the fantail of the ship on this quad 40mm anti-aircraft gun. And anytime they fire turret 3, everybody on the fantail has to get inside the ship because of the effects of concussion. 3 of us didn't make it once. And we had run underneath the rifles like these, and boom, a 2-gun salvo, and the concussion, which was about 400 feet per second, picked us up like Raggedy Ann, Raggedy Andy, and threw us to the deck. The concussion waves knock at your ears for a long time, but the ones that hurt worse than the 16s are the 5-inch. They bark at you all the time.
All right, well, Taylor, let's go check out the turrets. Hi, how's it going?
The ship's XO, this is Captain Jordan from 90 to 92.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. How are you?
Great. Welcome to Turret 1.
Thank you.
This is the heartbeat of the guns themselves. Each gun operates independent of the other. Once the command order is given to go ahead and load, you come into here, and these guys will bring powders from down below, from powder magazines. They come up in a cradle, they load in, they're pushed forward. You put the bullet in, which is about 2,500 pounds. When the command is commenced to fire, the guy pulls the trigger, and out goes 1 round.
So how many people does it take to operate a turret?
At least 100 people.
100? Just
100 people.
In one turret?
In one turret, because you've got powder magazines, you've got projectile magazines, and then you got the folks that are inside.
How far can they shoot, and what kind of damage could they inflict?
Well, you're talking about 2,000 pounds of high explosive. One story that I can relate to you, we caught a side shot, a 4-ton truck, and you see it going through the air, much like you'd see a basketball going through the air. So that's the kind of destructive power.
Thank you so much. It's a real honor. And
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure to meet you and have you aboard.
All right, we're going to keep checking out the rest of the ship.
Okay.
All right.
Our next stop, we're going to the surrender deck.
Surrender deck. So this is literally where Japan surrendered World War II.
Yes. The reason for the Missouri being chosen to hold these surrender ceremonies because President Truman is from the state of Missouri. Back when the ship came out of the Brooklyn Navy Yard, President Truman, as their state's junior senator, gave the dedication speech, and his daughter is the one that took the champagne bottle and swung the champagne bottle. So World War II ended with 23 minutes signing of the documents on board the Battleship Missouri. The table was positioned right here over this spot, and then we put the documents on top. One original for the United States, one for Japan. United States and our allies were already here. Japan's representatives come aboard are standing on this side of the table for us to do 23 minutes signing the documents to end World War II.
I heard we positioned our tallest sailors around the table.
As they
Is
came
that
on
true?
board, we had side boys on the main level. So as they come up the accommodation ladder to come on board, they pass through some of our tall sailors.
Was that to intimidate them, to make them think that we're all real big? Did they let the planes fly overhead? Is there something about all the planes flying overhead?
At the conclusion of signing, we had 2 waves of aircraft, bomber and fighter planes, to pass over. They were already airborne and signaled to get close and pass over as Japan's representatives went down that ladder to exit the Battleship Missouri.
And was that kind of like, we got this, like, don't mess with us?
A lot of support behind us. 255 other ships and more than 1,000 aircraft passing over.
I mean, it's just,
Mind-boggling.
it really is. I don't like the word awesome. It's pretty awesome.
I want to take you to one more location. It's where a kamikaze plane crashed against this ship, and we found part of the wreckage on board. So let's head in this direction. April 11, 1945, off of Okinawa, aircraft were spotted diving down on this ship, low to the surface of the ocean. A left wing is what impacted the ship, caused it to break apart. Fuselage and the bomb falls in the ocean. The wing and the body is found on board. The first thing we do is put out a fire caused by this collision. So roughly 3 minutes of time, the fire's put out, and then all the crew members are checking in, everybody's accounted for. When they find the body, they have to notify the captain. Captain addresses the entire crew and says they're going to observe some common humanity, prepare the body for burial at sea off this ship.
And was that common policy then to give the enemy a burial like that?
No.
Who was the captain that decided?
Captain William Callahan, who also grew up in Missouri, in his mind, he figured he's teaching his crew a life lesson. Common humanity, give the burial to the young man's body. It makes us much bigger by doing so. So I'm going to head to the captain's cabin, and I'll meet you below decks.
Okay.
Okay?
Good deal.
Okay. During tours, people always ask, how do sailors find their way around onboard ship? Well, ships have marking systems that we call bullseyes. Bullseyes on ship work like addresses going to the friend's house. What level of the ship we're on, 01. What compartment, compartment 95. What side, starboard or port side, right side or left side. Since it's an odd number, that means you're on the right side of the ship. And is it a living space, a workspace, or a trunk space? Letter L, living space. The next row of information, frames. Ship's frames are like ribs in the human body. So we're between frames 95 to 115. The next row, division. This is stores division 5.
Hello, you just entered the captain's cabin.
How are you?
How are you? My name is Toby Lancon. I'm the captain's personal steward from 52 to 55. My responsibility here is to make sure that whatever he needs, he gets. I cook for him. Of course, I shine his shoes, put his uniform, give him a haircut. When my captain leaves the ship, you never seen a sharper sailor in your life. And I'm very proud of that. And of course, being the captain's cabin, every time we have visitors that come in to visit the ship, this is where we entertain them. This is the biggest room that you have here for the captain. You got 3, upper, lower, and import. The captain of the ship never relinquished this room. This is his. In the morning, all the department head will come up here, and they have their briefing, we call it.
See a desk over there. Can you tell us
Well,
about that desk?
that is the captain's. Every time he's using this, if he wants me, see that push button there? He used that to have the security in me.
Okay.
If he needs me, he just push that. And of course, this is his bedroom, king-size bed, how about that? He's the only one who has a king-size bed. And before he come out here, that he'd look at himself. How do I look? The captain? I think your mustache needs trimming, Jim. Yeah, I do that. I trim just like my dad has.
Very nice.
That's why I'm very proud to be a part of the ship. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I see you found Broadway.
Yeah, I mean, I love this place. You know, we shot a scene from the film where the guys are literally carrying a 16-inch round the length of Broadway. So we spent some time down here, but I never got the inside scoop on it.
Broadway is the single longest passageway through the ship, about the length of a football field, connecting engine room 4 and going forward to engine rooms 3, 2, and 1. We have a rail system that usually moves machinery into the shops and back into the engine rooms. It could also move ammo.
How much did the ammo weigh? How much, do you know how much would it
The shells were 1,900 pounds, or the heavy one, 2,700 pounds. And then the canisters are the gunpowder bags, 3 110-pound gunpowder bags, each canister. We have it as if we're ready to transfer it from turret 3, which is at the back part of the ship, towards the front part of the ship, turrets 2 and turrets 1. First thing I need to do is switch the track so we can move it forward on the rail.
Okay.
So right here at this section, they were just like our train.
Yeah.
And then now we can move that off that backup line and move it forward.
Here?
Yes. Just like this, we take it forward. Just like that. And we could continue forward through Broadway if we're moving it towards turret 2 and turret 1, or transfer it back over and go back towards turret 3. If you want, you can head in that direction for engine room 4.
All right, man, I'm gonna go check it out. Thank you. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Peter. I'm Larry Doom.
Hi, Larry.
I was the chief engineer on the Missouri from 1990 to 1993.
And how many people did you have working for you?
450.
If anything breaks down, you're like Scotty on Enterprise.
Pretty much so. Pretty
You're
much.
a real-life Scotty.
Yes, sir.
Well, tell me about the engine system.
Well, this ship is a steam ship, and most modern ships nowadays run off of gas turbines. It's the equivalent of a teapot or a coffee pot. You know, it starts generating steam, steam comes out, and we capture that steam, and we channel it towards machinery. And what happens is the bridge, they order up the white needle, tell us what speed, ahead 1/3, 2/3, standard speed, and we answer it. With that, we take this high-pressure steam throttle valve, this is the gas pedal. The big one is for going ahead, the small red one for going astern, and we start opening and allowing steam pressure to the engines.
And what was your maximum speed?
The maximum speed rated is 33 knots, but we did 38.
38 knots?
38, and we could go faster. The boilers had more room to give, but the ship was, when you go that speed, it rides uncomfortably. It vibrates a lot, the stern tends to go down, the bows tends to come up, and there'll be a rooster tail in the back of the ship about 50 feet high.
Wow. Larry, thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
You're a
My
hero.
pleasure.
You're a badass and a hero.
Captain Jordan.
Hi, Reggie. How you doing? Just sitting here admiring these triggers. This is the 5-inch control mechanisms. These are the actual triggers where we would set the alarm to alert everybody topside when they're getting ready to fire, and they actually pull the triggers and fire from here. If I'm up on the bridge, what I'm actually hearing is I'm hearing 3 sounds, and it's on the 3rd sound is when the guns are actually fired. Nobody's topside when we're shooting the 16-inch guns because of the percussion damage to both eyes and ears. But before we do that, we have to calculate. We have to figure out what the right elevation of the barrel is, what the right train angle, what the gun target line is. And so we do that over here in this Mark I Able computer. It's not a computer that you would think of today. Obviously, it's pretty massive in size. But what this is we're able to set What's the elevation? What's the terrain? What's the ship speed? What's wind speed? What's the environmental speeds? And as a consequence, we're able to shoot the round in the place where we want it to go.
Okay.
If we want to leave and go topside, I can take you to where we actually control Combat Engagement Center for situational awareness of everything. This is essentially the heartbeat of the ship, the heartbeat from all combat systems. I'm sitting in what's referred to as the captain's chair. When the captain's not here, this space is controlled under the tactical officer, or TAO. This immediate bank of phones in front of me is the primary communication circuits, and the red boxes indicate that those phones had the capacity to go secure. Off to my left and forward is the Tomahawk bank. This is where we control all the Tomahawk launches from here. You can see all the commands to the launchers, to elevate, to launch. The status boards are typically plotted on from behind. This would be where critical information would be displayed. You would see things like where are we doing naval gunfire targets, or that sort of thing. If I look over to my right, this is the navigation plot. So you're keeping track of where the ship is at all times and where other ships are. Back on the far starboard side is the air traffic control. So those are the guys that are controlling jets that are under our control, or they're tracking jets. So as you can imagine, Desert Storm, we own the skies. We had total air dominance. So we're tracking everything from there. This is a very crowded place when you're at full GQ. You had to really hold your conversation in a hushed tone in order to allow people to do their jobs. But from here, you know what the guns, the 60-inch are doing, the 5-inch are doing. You're not controlling guns from here, but you have total situational awareness of the entire battlefield.
We're coming into officers' country. This is where officers have their meals and they lounge. As we see it today, it's our ship's museum area. We're going to go over and join Captain Jordan and Brooks and share some information and stories about officers' country. Captain Jordan, Brooks.
How you doing, Reggie?
Hey, how's the atmosphere in officers' country?
This is a pretty well relaxed place. When you live on board a ship and when you serve on a ship and get caught up in the routine of the ship.
Exactly.
And you never relax, if you will, totally.
Train. We're always training.
So the little lounge area to my right was for folks to kind of, relax, read, watch TV. It's the only place where I could get all the officers together at one time. So, you do breakfast down here, you do lunch, dinner, staff meetings, planning meetings, you name it. It was all done in the wardroom.
When I was on watch, 4-hour watch with the officer of the deck, and we were called OOD messengers. And a lot of times we were asked to go to the wardroom because they knew the individual was here. I felt rather intimidated because here I was, a seaman first class, 17 years old, and I was going into the den. I mean, I was going to be under the gun, so to speak. But I got the job done, and I got the message delivered, and back to the OOD I went.
Well, thanks for sharing those stories with us. I'm going to head over and look at some of the artwork. Life on board was all work and very little play. But one of the things that we found crew members could do to make this really feel like their home was murals and artwork. This mural started in World War II and has evolved as the ship has been active 50s and 80s to 90s. Different colors are from different time periods. Red would be in the 40s, blue in the 50s, and almost a purplish color would be when the ship came back in service 80 to 92. We have some other locations on board ship, like down in the engine rooms, some of their workspaces, machine shops and repair shops, and even down along Broadway. We can see great artwork done by sailors when they were on board to really make this their home away from home.
Thanks for coming along on our trip through history aboard the Mighty Mo, battleship that not only means so much to me personally, but to our servicemen and our country.
Ships are an important part of our country's history, not just the USS Missouri, but countless other ships with their own stories. All of these historic ships need help and could benefit from attention from people just like you. Visit the Historic Naval Ships Association to locate a historic experience near you.
But if you find yourself in Hawaii, we invite all of you to come see us in person sometime here at the Battleship Missouri Memorial.
Mahalo!